Start of a new league season, and right away you get your rivals Union. Talk a little bit about what this matchup means for you guys, just especially in the league here.
Well, it's always more when it's Union, whether it's league or not. It's even more so because there's 4 points in league on the line. But you know, Union is our biggest rival. That's the guys. Guys on our team embrace them as our biggest rival. You know, certainly last year they had the upper hand. They knocked us out of the playoffs. And they had a great year, so we want to change that. There's no better time to start than tonight.
At home in front of the fans, it's also Black Friday, which is another great tradition here at RPI. What does it mean to have a lot more students be in the crowd and maybe seeing their first RPI hockey game?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you know, we always have a great student section. We're very fortunate here to have big crowds almost every night. And, you know, tonight's a little more. You know, there'll be probably well over 4,000 fans. It's Black Friday. It's a special event. Certainly for the freshmen, students on campus, it might be their first taste of Division I hockey, so you like to indoctrinate them into what this means to our campus. But you know, we're real fortunate. We have a great student section. We have a great college hockey fan base, and you know, for us, it's you know, it's a special game. It's a game that means a lot to our fans. It means a lot to our program, and it means a lot to our guys. You know, to come out to wear those one-time only black uniforms, to play your arch rival. On a big night like this, it's one of many reasons that make our program so special, and you certainly want to play well in these big games because it prepares you for bigger games down the road. How you handle the pressure, how you handle the crowd, how you handle the nerves. Can we play a physical game without getting over the line and being in the penalty box? All those things are real important as you prepare for hopefully what are going to be bigger games in the future of the season.
Getting to the guys in the locker room for you guys now, does it feel to you like the team has kind of picked up where it left off last year as far as progression-wise?
Well, you know, I don't know. Every year is a new year, and I think, you know, a lesson I've learned back at Denver as an assistant is that you can carry a little momentum, but at the end of the day, the next year, even starting in that spring of the year before, you got to go back down to base camp, and you got to start the climb all over again. And you have to embrace the journey. You have to embrace how hard you work. You have to redevelop who you are as a core a little bit. Freshmen come in, seniors graduate, new seniors emerge. So I think, you know, we've carried some of that forward, but I really believe that whether you had a good year or a bad year, you got to go back to the base camp and you got to rebuild and start the climb over again. If you think that you can start halfway up, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Kind of off of that, do you feel like this team's early in the season that players have kind of found their roles earlier maybe than last year, or not the case?
I don't think we're all the way there yet. You know, I think we've seen things that we like in 4 games, 5 games in the county exhibition, and we've seen things that we don't like, and that's normal. We're young. It's a young season, and you know what I do like is that we've put ourselves in position to win every game we've played. You know, we certainly need to learn how to close games. We need to learn how hard it is to win. You know, both at home and on the road, and be prepared for how hard that is. You know, I think the guys are starting to emerge in roles, but, you know, we're not there yet. You know, we need, you know, certainly Jacob's line is producing a lot of offense. We need some secondary offensive production. Brock Higgs, Zaleski, Tenorti line should be able to do that, but they need to be a power forward, big, physical, strong puck possession line. And if they can be, that line could be really good. If they can't, then that line's not going to stay together. And, you know, the McGowan, Schrader, Lee line, you know, is kind of what we call our engineer way line because they do the things that we value as a program. They're physical, they're fast, they're hard to play against, they win puck battles. That's a really, really valuable line for us. So I like the makeup of those lines, but at the end of the day, they need to also produce results on the ice.
That's a little bit on the offense, but defensively, I know other than Nick Balin, everyone's not an underclassman, I guess. Or what is the kind of the importance of those guys stepping up, the sophomores and juniors? I know like the LaBeoufs and the Dolans of the world.
Well, I think it's real important that Guy and Bo become regular, can't miss top 5 guys that can handle 20 minutes a night and can execute and perform their role at a high level. And they're getting closer to that, but they're not all the way there. We can't have Guy Leboeuf taking a penalty that gets him kicked out of the game. We're on the road, and we're playing a good team, and you're on Olympic-size ice, and now we're down to 5 defensemen for the rest of the game. And he's one of our best defenders. We need Bo Dolan to be rock solid for us back there, to bring the competitiveness and the physicality that he brings, but also to bring some maturity and poise to that group, because we have a lot of young guys. So those guys need to be 20-minute eaters for us. And then, after that, I think Luke and Curtis and guys like that are starting to come along, but, they're younger. But, certainly we need the juniors and seniors, Balin, Leboeuf, and Bo, to be real anchors for us on our defensive core.
And Coach, finally talking about a little about goaltending here. I know Diebold gets the start. Has it been basically kind of a split between your top two and then Jason maybe right along with them? I know you talked about the great depth of this team plus goaltending wise.
I'm not committed to splitting them. So may the best man win. The guy that helps us win hockey games is going to play. I went with my gut on Scotty on that first night against Ferris because I thought he'd been better in the fall. And he won us that game. Now, I think they both played pretty good. They both had opportunities to close games last weekend that they weren't able to. Now, that's not all on them. We need to play better in the third period, but the reality is, no matter who you're playing, at home or on the road, you're playing a pretty good hockey team to a real good team, and you have a lead in the third period. No matter how good we play, they're going to get chances. Teams get chances when they're down in the third period, and your goalies need to finish games for you. And we are going to do a better job as a team, but it's a big learning experience for both of those guys. I have the utmost confidence in both of them that they're going to be able to do that for us.
I lied. One more question. What's going to be the biggest thing for the team? I know there's going to be a lot of emotions running high in the field house tonight. What's the biggest thing in the first period for you guys to try to settle things down? I know you want to harness that too much.
Be physical, stay in the penalty box. That's the key. Early. Now, there's a lot of other things that we're going to need to do to beat Union. They got a heck of a hockey team, okay? And there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to have to execute well. We're going to have strong face-offs because they're a good face-off team. We're going to need to be good on special teams. But I think early on, it's very important that we establish our physical presence, because when we're playing our best, we're a mean, nasty physical team. But at the same time, we got to stay on the penalty box. We want this to be a 5-on-5 series. It's been years now. They've been up around 30% on the power play, and we want to avoid giving them too many power play opportunities. So early on, establish our physical presence, stay out of the box.